Deadbeat moms.
A 1-year-old is dead. And a man who runs a community outreach program says he would have done anything to help had he known the child was in danger. The mom, Sherry Magby, faces several charges, including 6 counts of cruelty to children. Channel 2's Tom Jones is live in Douglasville, where he's learned she's also accused of attacking one of her other children several years ago.
That's right, Linda. Sherry Magby was out on bond after she's accused of using a pocket knife to stab one of her children after he ran outside of this home back in 2023. Now, in addition to those child cruelty charges, she could face more charges because of that 1-year-old child that was found dead in this home.
Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. You can support uncensored conversations via Cash App or buying your girl a coffee. I just want to give a quick shout out to my first Faye ambassador. Shout out to Nefertiti. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you guys want to sign up for memberships or sign up to be an ambassador as well to receive a shout out, the link will be in the description down below. Hey y'all, I just want to pop in and touch on this very tragic story and have the conversation about deadbeat moms. Now, oftentimes we'll talk about deadbeat dads and how dads ain't this and dads ain't that. But we rarely ever give the attention to these broads, these heifers that put their children in terrible positions, that harm their children, and ultimately they lead to the unaliving of these babies, these poor babies that deserve so much better. So you have this case here in Douglasville. What do you mean you stabbed your son with a pocket knife? There is no reality, there is no dimension, no quantum realm where I can find you stabbing your little child as being a natural response to something. That is very weird. Just right off the top, what do you mean you stabbed your child with a pocket knife for leaving the house? I don't understand why people like this have children. Why do you bring babies to this world so you can harm them? What is the purpose? What is the reason? There are literal demons walking amongst us, and I will be happy to see all these demons laid to rest, because there is no way that you should be allowed to be out here with the rest of us wreaking this type of havoc on society, on these babies, because they certainly deserve better.
All they had to do was come down here. We could have helped them get food.
Ken Howell's heart sank when I told him a 1-year-old child died in this home, and police say 5 other children were left alone for 12 hours with no food.
Why is it that these deadbeat moms always have a gang of kids? It's not enough that we knew about 2 of them, but you had, what, 6 or 7 kids? Why is it that these heifers always have a gang of kids? This is disgusting. Where are the fathers? But then again, anybody that would lay up with that broad, you're probably a degenerate loser too. Let's be so for real here. What upstanding man is laying in bed with that broad? So even if the fathers were in the picture, I don't know if it would be that much better.
Howell's Community Outreach Center is just steps away.
I just don't understand how that could be that close, and then knowing we're right here.
Police arrested 37-year-old Sherry Magby. She faces 6 counts of second-degree child cruelty. Police say they were called to the home on James D. Simpson in late March on a cardiac arrest call. The coroner says a 1-year-old child died. Officers say they smelled a foul odor consistent with unsanitary living conditions. They say they found a 10-year-old supervising siblings ages 1, 2, 4, 6, and 8. The 10-year-old said the 1-year-old had been eating ants and cockroaches.
These babies deserve so much better. And it's not that there isn't help for them. The help is there. It's just these evil, creature broads. They don't care. They like to see their kids suffer. It's like they get off on it. This is disgusting, and I hope that the judge throws the book at this broad. She should not see daylight. In fact, she should get the guillotine in the town square. All this trauma that they're going through right now, I really hope that these babies get the help that they need so they can overcome this and not continue to cycle.
I would have fed her.
The 10-year-old said they had been alone with no food approximately 12 hours. Police said every room in the house was in disarray. Neighbors said this is so heartbreaking.
It's very sad.
Very sad.
It's sad. It's even hard to talk about.
And that community outreach center is right there. There is a church down the street. Neighbors say Magby could have gotten help if she had asked. She's now being held without bond. She was scheduled for trial in that pocket knife incident next month.
The fact that she even had those children when that case was brought against her, why wouldn't you remove the children from the home just to be on the safe side? Why would you allow those children to be in that situation, especially with something like her being accused of stabbing one of her children? This was a failure on the Department of Justice. This was a failure on CPS. And see, they mentioned that there was a center across the street. There was a church down the street. If she needed help, there was help there. Look, broads like this don't want help. They want to abuse their kids. They want to let their kids live in filth. That's the whole point. So it's not that the resources aren't there. It's not that she probably didn't know there were resources. The broad did not care. She probably had active vitriol towards those children. This whole situation is absolutely disgusting to me. And I get so angry, you guys. I get so angry because things like this can be avoided. Being poor does not mean that you have to live in filth. Being poor does not mean that your children have to go without eating. It doesn't necessarily mean that because, like I said, the resources are there. These bird brain heifers do not reach out for the resources because it's not about actually doing for the kids. It's not about that. I wouldn't be surprised if broads like this would be diagnosed as complete sociopaths if they were evaluated. Because how do you, in your own mind, justify any of this behavior? The poor baby 10-year-old having to take on the responsibilities of a grown adult who's had children. Why is the 10-year-old taking care of a 1-year-old? Why do you have a 10-year-old tending to multiple children? That baby did not get to be a child. This is the adultification that I'm talking about that we do to our children. While we're out here worried about children being fast, we're worried about them getting their hair done and being fast. Y'all adultify your children every chance you get by making them take care of your other children when that's your job. So rest in peace to that poor baby 1 year old. It's so sickening. I really hope that the community comes together to help the children during this whole tragedy and get them the therapy that they need so that they can heal from their terrible, piss poor, deadbeat mom. And I hope that if they do have any fathers that are worth a damn, that they step up and get these kids, because these children deserve a home. They deserve a safe place to be that's clean, fridge is stocked, and they can go get an education and focus on being kids. But y'all, I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. How do you feel about this tragic situation? Do you agree with me where it's like we don't call broads deadbeat moms enough? Or do you disagree with me where it's like, no, she's partly a victim and it's the man's fault? Or I'm coming across a bunch of cases where I just don't know how somebody would defend this, but I'm sure some idiot in the comments somewhere is going to defend this mom in this foolishness or blame somebody that has nothing to do with this for this tragedy other than putting the blame on the broad herself. I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. If you like the video, like the video. The more you interact with it, the more it gets pushed down to the algorithm. Also, hype the video if that function is available. If you're feeling a little extra generous, the link is in the description to buy your girl a coffee. Thank you guys so much. I'll see y'all with the next one. Deuces.